For love, not a chance. For family, not even close. For companionship, don't make me laugh. Amelia Reed's life changed because of a single sentence, spoken at exactly the wrong moment. You're impressive, Amelia, her ex, Victor had said calmly over dinner. But no one dates you for you. They date your success. He didn't shout. He didn't even sound angry. He just stated it like a fact. And somehow, that hurt more than any fight ever could. Amelia Reed was 37 years old, the founder of a powerhouse tech investment firm in Chicago. She negotiated million-dollar deals before breakfast and solved corporate crises before most people finished their morning coffee. Control was her comfort zone. Emotions were just messy distractions. Her breakup with Victor lasted precisely 11 minutes, scheduled neatly between 2 meetings. No tears, no drama. Just a quiet, efficient exit. But his words, they lingered. 3 weeks later, Amelia was sleeping at the office more than in her own penthouse. Her company had just closed a massive funding round, and the media was calling her the woman who has it all. She knew better. Having it all did UNT mean having anyone to call when the city went dark at midnight. That's where Ethan Cole came in. He arrived every morning at 8:10 sharp, black coffee in hand, a tablet displaying her schedule, and 3 backup plans for anything that might go wrong. For nearly 3 years, he'd been her executive assistant. Quiet, efficient, impossible to rattle. He never flirted, never pried, never treated her like a celebrity. He was just steady. Amelia knew almost nothing about his personal life, only that he left at exactly 4 p.m. twice a week, without fail. One evening, her curiosity got the better of her. Why? She asked. He hesitated for a brief moment before answering. My son's therapy sessions. That was it. No extra details. She didn't ask for more. He didn't offer, but she started noticing things after that. The worn laptop bag. The carefully repaired watch strap. The way he budgeted his expenses. Ethan wasn't struggling loudly, he was surviving quietly. Then, the invitation arrived. A high-profile charity gala, the con swarming with media, investors, and all the city's power players. Her PR manager insisted she attend. You need a personal image, Amelia, she'd said. Investors trust people who look grounded. The unspoken meaning was clear, not alone, and of course, Victor would be there. He loved rooms full of cameras. Amelia almost threw the invitation away. Then she heard his voice in her head again. Asterisk, no one dates you for you. That night, staring out at the Chicago skyline from her apartment window, an idea began to form. It was cold, practical, and brutally effective, the way all her best strategies were. By morning, it was a solid plan. Ethan entered her office at 8:10 with her coffee. She didn't touch it. Close the door, she said. He did. Sid. He blinked once, a flicker of surprise but a bad. She looked at him the same way she'd look at a business proposal. I want you to marry me. The silence that followed wasn't shocked. It was thoughtful. It would be legal, she continued, her voice steady, but structured. A contract. For 1 year. He still didn't interrupt. I'll cover your son's full medical care, private school, a housing allowance, complete financial security. His jaw tightened slightly at the mention of his son. She filed that reaction away. In return, you attend public events with me. You appear as my husband. Nothing personal is required. Finally, he spoke, his voice low. Why me? She could have lied, given him a corporate reason. But something about Ethan made dishonesty feel pointless. Because someone told me I'm unlovable unless I'm useful, she admitted. I want the world to see otherwise. He studied her, his eyes searching, like he was reading the fine print hidden behind her words. How long do I have to answer? Take the day. He stood to leave, then paused at the door. If I say yes, he said quietly, my son knows the truth. I don't build lies around him. For the first time in a long time, Amelia felt something unfamiliar flicker inside her. Respect. Agreed. He gave a single nod and left. That night, for the first time in weeks, Amelia didn't work late. She sat in her silent, empty apartment, wondering why this one decision felt heavier than any multi-million-dollar deal she'd ever signed. Her phone buzzed near midnight. A message from Ethan. Just 3 words. I accept the terms. Amelia stared at the screen. She had solved the problem. She had controlled the narrative. She had designed the perfect outcome. So why did it feel like something had just begun, instead of ended? They signed the marriage papers on a quiet Thursday morning. No family, no friends, just 2 strangers as witnesses, and a judge who barely looked up. Amelia wore a navy suit. Ethan wore the same gray blazer he used for meetings. When the judge said, "You may kiss," they shook hands instead. Professional, clean, simple, exactly how Amelia wanted it, or so she thought. The first real test wasn't the media, it was Ethan's son. Lucas was 7, observant, and too smart for easy lies. They met at a small diner near his school. Lucas looked at Amelia like she was a puzzle. Are you my dad's boss? He asked. Amelia glanced at Ethan, who answered honestly, she is. And she's also helping us. Lucas considered this deeply. Are you going to disappear later? The question caught her off guard. I don't plan to, she said carefully. He nodded, accepting the answer for now. But Amelia noticed something. Lucas didn't care about money, titles, or success. He only cared who stayed. The media explosion came 3 days later. Tech CEO marries her assistant. Power move or midlife crisis. Blogs mocked, commentators speculated, and social media turned it into a joke. Malia expected that. What she didn't expect was Ethan standing completely unfazed beside her at events. He wasn't awkward or starstruck. He spoke to investors calmly, remembered names, and diffused tense conversations. At one fundraiser, a major donor almost pulled out. Ethan stepped in smoothly. "We value long-term partnerships," he told the donor. "Short-term fear is expensive. Stability is profitable." The donor stayed. Amelia noticed. Ethan wasn't pretending. He was capable. Very capable. Then Victor reappeared. Of course he did. At the Winter Investment Summit, he approached Amelia with a polite smile and a camera-friendly handshake. His eyes slid to Ethan. "So this is the upgrade," Victor said lightly. Ethan didn't react. Victor leaned closer to Amelia. "Tell me honestly, how much are you paying him?" Before Amelia could respond, Ethan spoke. "Less than you paid for your ego, I'm sure." Victor laughed it off, but he walked away first. For some reason, Amelia's chest felt lighter. Months passed, the contract remained clear, the boundaries intact, but small things changed. She started keeping snacks in her office for Lucas. Ethan started reminding her to eat during long days. They began talking about things unrelated to work. One evening, Amelia attended Lucas's school presentation. Not for show, not for media, just because she was invited. Lucas spotted her in the audience and waved like it mattered. That feeling was unfamiliar. The shift came quietly, like most important things do. One night, Amelia overheard Ethan on the phone. "I don't regret it," he said softly. "It started as an agreement, but she's different than people think." She walked away before hearing more, but the words stayed. The real turning point came at the annual gala. This time, Amelia entered with Ethan beside her. Not ahead, not behind, beside. People noticed. Not gossip, respect. Ethan had helped restructure to failing partnerships and saved investors millions. He wasn't the assistant anymore. He was valued. Later that night in the car, Amelia asked quietly, "When this year ends, what happens?" Ethan didn't answer immediately. "Honestly," he said, "I stopped pretending it's just business." Her heart skipped, annoyingly. "And Lucas?" she asked. "He already asked if you're staying." Amelia looked out at the city lights. For the first time in her life, the future wasn't a strategy, it was a question. 6 months later, the contract expiration date arrived. No lawyers, no drama, just a conversation. "I can extend it," Amelia said carefully. Ethan shook his head. "I don't want an extension." Her stomach dropped slightly. Then he added, "I want a choice." Silence filled the room. Real silence, not boardroom silence. Amelia took a breath she didn't realize she was holding it for the first time. She said slowly, "I don't want control." Ethan smiled faintly. "That's terrifying for you, isn't it?" "Very." Lucas ran in from the hallway then. "Are we still a team?" he asked. Amelia looked at Ethan. Ethan looked at her. And for once, no contract decided the answer. "Yes," she said. Lucas grinned like that settled everything. And maybe it did. Amelia still built companies, still closed deals, and still dominated boardrooms. But now, she went home to noise, to laughter, to people who didn't care about her net worth. Victor was wrong. She wasn't unlovable. She had just been negotiating with the wrong terms. And love, it turned out, wasn't a transaction. It was presence. Subscribe to my channel for more amazing stories.